As a Detroiter, I really never owned a home or anything, but I know some family has who has, and my cousins who was inherited two homes, and he was, I believe, since like 2007, and recently he lost the homes and due to the taxes, and mortgages were paid for, all these things were good, but he just couldn't keep up with the property tax. And now I heard that in Michigan in general, but Detroit has the highest property tax increase in the nation. And now, due to this appraisal back in 2017, the city hall completed an order. But now, like these, a lot of Detroit homes, by over like 166,000 of them, are suffering from foreclosure. Okay, due to the back taxes. And with Rashida Tlaib, who was the Democratic representative of Detroit, she stated in this debate that it's 40% of people, Detroit residents, living under the poverty line, and then you have 80% African American. So that's almost half of the African American population in the city of Detroit are living under the poverty level. And she went on to speak about the gentrification that's going on in downtown Detroit. So I told you guys when I went to downtown Detroit, it was like a new city. This the new Detroit, and you think about like people like Mayor Mike Duggan and Gilbert. Dan Gilbert, who's owner of the Cleveland Cavaliers, is bringing all these jobs here, but that's only if you have specific credentials. Now, Mike Ellis, he died or whatever. He had this little business school, but it's not really affordable to the common man, to the common citizens of Detroit. And you see more, Caucasians, you see more Indians, you see people, or if you're a student of Wayne State University, maybe are going there and living there. But even then, it's still constantly increasing. And this is the thing here. So even though 166,000, shouts out Joanne Underwood, she was the spokesman of this congresswoman, the city council. It's kind of, it's very ridiculous though, man, because basically if you think about this, back in 2008, the mortgage rates, man, it's been constantly increasing. The housing market, it's horrible. I'm gonna say this: Detroiter Anna Bolden, I'm reading this from Detroit News, was wrong with her tax bill, as he said she bought her West Side Brook bungalow in tax foreclosure auction for $4,800 in 2011. So that year, her bill was $2,600, with the city taxing her as if the house was worth $57,000. Exactly. So you can really, like, the houses are very affordable. You can go to Zillow, you can buy a house for like $5,000, man. Maybe have to do a little bit more work into it. Bring a plumber with you, do the flooring, the roofing, have some type of little city contracts. You got people who actually start their own businesses like in roofing and plumbing, and they make a lucrative business. They just go around and just fix houses for people and charge them. That's like their business, and that's why the skills and trades are really good. Now I will say that in the city of Detroit, some schools are really, especially in the West Side, near 6 Mile, or they have like different trade schools. They have masonry, all these type of things that they can help equip these children if they don't want to go to the strictly white collar college route. They can develop things with their hands, which is good because we need a lot of rebuilding. As you can see in major areas in the city of Detroit, it's a lot of abandoned buildings. But yeah, I mean, if you can fix them up, and you can live in there, you can move in the whole family in there. I mean, you got squatters that go in there and do this all the time. But at the same time, though, man, it's like it's always owned by a third party. Now you got the Coalition Tax for Justice is suing the city of Detroit because of the illegal tax settlement that's really going on. So Mike Duggan really needs to address this situation here. 166,000 homes has been gone because of this, and you got people that's on homes, and this is decreasing the value of the city. I mean, they overtaxing low price homes. That's basically what this is. Buy a home for like 2,500 or $5,000, and within the next few years, you get a tax settlement like you paying the house is worth $100,000, and that's really not good because now you're acclimated because you're used to the budget that you have. Say you're making $15-$20 an hour, now you got to work twice as hard just to keep up with the taxes. And I think that's really happened with my cousin back in the West Side, Hancock, well, East Side, Hancock, and he lost two homes because of this, man. And now living somewhere else, and it really is widening the wealth gap. Rashida Tlaib, she brought up about that. I mean, if you compare it to like if it's a white city, 85% white or whatever, that wouldn't be happening. It's strictly with us. So this is a huge domino effect that we really have to talk about, man. If whoever's the next mayor needs to come in and address these situations, man, and eliminate these the decrease of the property taxes, man. You got the state of Florida that's working on, like, you don't have to pay property tax at all. You know that, that money is used for, their taxpayers, people who lives in the city council to put in their pockets, the mayor, the governor, all this type of stuff. But it's not right for the people, man, and we need to speak about this. Between, I'll say, of 173,000 Detroit homes reviewed, more than 92% were overassessed between 2010 and 2016, overtaxed by an average of total of $3,800. Nearly 96,000 of those properties were taxed twice as much as they should have been in at least one of those years. Of the overassessed homes, city records showed about 79,000 properties have had the same owner since 2010, meaning those homeowners bore the full brunt of the overtaxation. More are likely to have felt the impact because buyers often purchase homes with prior years of unpaid taxes they must pay. That is true. That is true. But the rates needs, like I said, the rates strictly, it needs to go down. I mean, but I don't think this is really gonna happen. Yeah, about 59,000 homes were overtaxed by $130 million, man, the past couple of years. Median home sales price in Detroit had plummeted 87%. Had plummeted 87% by 2009, only a few years after the housing crash began. But city assessments then began to reflect the market until nearly a decade later. So Duggan continued those broad reductions until 2017 appraisal was completed due to over back taxes. That's the only thing that's really killing this. So, I mean, I even said this before that as far as African Americans, like we have like 49% or 46% home ownership. And of course, it's due to redlining that, oh, you live in this specific area, poor neighborhood, it's not going to have them get the FHA. It's going to be very hard to get these housing loans and all these things. And a lot of people don't have the money up front in cash to actually buy a home. Just felt like, just really making it very difficult to be a homeowner in the city here. But this is just a raising awareness. Just really kind of very make it difficult. And that's just something I was thinking about. I was thinking about my cousin. I'm like, man, this is a neighborhood that I grew up in. I mean, I'm talking about I grew up since my sister and I, since 6 years old, man, and we used to play all the time, and we had a lot of history in that home. And barbecues. I mean, people sleeping over. I mean, that's where grandmother was born. And my mom. I mean, it's just a lot of things that we did like in the 70s and 80s. Well, my parents and stuff, and 90s and early 2000s. It's the fact that we just find out now because constantly the things are changing in the economy that we no longer have that house in our name. It's somebody else owning it now. But it's a really domino effect. It's really got me thinking to like, really taking care of your finances and being up to date what's really going on within your residence. And this is why I say, voting, to me, I believe I'm a caveat of voting and understanding having a good representative political personnel with you to help you with these type of situations, man. The housing crisis, the crime. I mean, the value of this, because you got people that's coming from different countries, right? They can come over and just move in without any notice and get these type of housing loans, and they won't be as redline. And this is a huge thing. This redline has been going on since the early 90s, man. I mean, early 1900s. I'm sorry. So this has been going on for the longest, bro. And it's a sad thing, regardless of your credit. Like, it's just because you're in a demographic area, hey, this is what you're gonna do. We believe poor people should not get any type of assistance besides Section 8. But man, that's all I really have to say. It's just a sad thing. You guys can kind of read into this. I'm pleased some Detroit residents can probably relate to this. That's really going on here. It's easy to obtain a home, but to like have it in your name and keep up with it, man, as time goes on, because you want to constantly retire, man. You don't want to continuously keep working. But this is why it's important to have multiple streams of income, because you want to be in a situation like this. Land is the most important thing that you can have. Remember my grandmother telling me that. And this just made me think. It made me reflect on these things. So shouts out to Joanna Underwood, who was the spokesperson of this congresswoman on Facebook Live all the time, just giving us the Detroit news. And she becomes a lawyer, man, and just really changed some things, bro, for real. But this your boy Young Jr. You guys continue to like, comment, subscribe. That's all I really want to say. Stay tuned for more videos and interviews. If you want to interview, please email me at rodney9312@gmail.com. That'll be in the description box. I appreciate everybody for taking time out the day to watch this video. I'm out. Deuces.